dress bang, smalls.
I'm similar to the thriller in Manila. Honeys call me bigger, the condom filler. Whether it's stiff tongue or stiff dick, Biggie squeeze it to make shit fit. Now check this shit, I got the pack of Rough Riders in the back of the Pathfinder. You know the epilogue by James Todd Smith. I get swift with the lyrical gift. Hit you with the dick, make your kidney shift. Here we go, but I'm not domino. I got the funk flow to make your drawers drop slow. So recognize the dick size in these Coincatch jeans. I wear 13s, know what I mean? I fuck around and hit you with the Hennessy dick. Mess around and go blind, don't get to see shit. The next batter, here to shatter your blatter, it doesn't matter. Skinny or fat or light skinned or black, baby, I drop these. Beneath with my me, screaming, I poppy. I love it when they call me Big Pop, but I only smoke blunts if they roll prop. But look, I got ya caught up with the drunk flow. Fuck taekwondo, I told a fofo. For niggas getting mad cause they bitch chose me, a big black motherfucker with G. You see, all I do is separate the game from the truth. Big bang boots from the Bronx to Bolivia, getting physical like Olivia Newt. Tricks up my click dick all day with no trivia. So give me a bankroll and a bag of weed. I'm guaranteed to fuck her till her nose bleed. Even if the new man's a certified Mac, you get that H-Town in you. You want that old thing back?
Like B-I-double-T-I-E with some new R-U-L-E. Notorious is known for bustin' in your E-Y-E. Baby, baby, bitches know they love to hate me. How come you come, we coming back, so maybe how close we came to coming together is crazy. How come you witnesses make similar faces when y'all coming, y'all be crying like I'm killing y'all bitches. I know there's a bigger picture than the camera roll, cause I don't think y'all be knowing how this shit's unfolding. Back shots to the rear, got the Mac unloading, gotta reload like every so often. Saying I got my swagger back, I'm looking like bitch, my swagger never left. Don't be so hard pressed to be impressed by these new rappers. They actors and the fact is, you want that old thing back.
Like Scarface and Bushwick, Willie D having nightmares of girls killing me. She mad because what we had didn't last. I'm glad because her cousin let me hit the ass. Fuck the past, let's dwell on the 500 SL, the E and J and ginger ale. The way my pockets swell to the rim with Benjamins. Another hund's in the crib, please send her in. I fuck non-stop, lick my lips a lot. Used to lick the clips a lot, but licking clips had to stop. Cause y'all don't know how to act when the tongue go down below. Peep the funk flow, really go. I got the cleanest, meanest penis. You never seen this, stroke of genius. So take off your Tim boots and your bodysuit. I mean the spandex, and hit my man next. Sex get rougher when they come to the nut buster. Pussy crusher, black nasty motherfucker. I don't chase them, I replace them. And if I'm caressing them, I'm undressing them. Fuck what you heard, who's the best in New York? Fulfilling fantasies without that nigga Mr. Raw. Or tattoo, I got you wrapped around my dick. And when I'm done, I got the split shit.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Or maybe no, not so happy Monday. So, what a damn shame. I made that tweet earlier. I'm... Okay, that's great. Oh. Give me 1 second. I have to fix that. Okay. Sorry, my keyboard is broken. I spilled water on it the other day, and one of my buttons, which I just had to disable, it like makes everything, makes the screen black, and I get an error. Anyways, what a damn shame, man. What a shame. We pumped, reclaimed our weekly just to completely retrace the entire move. I mean, I won't lie to you, I was a little hopeful. I bought about like a 10th to 15th% of the position I had in Tau. So if I had $100 worth in Tau before I sold it, I bought like $10 back. I actually just sold it earlier today. I think the bull run's over. And I'm going to explain why. We're going to talk macro today. I think it's very, very important. How it compares doing the... Okay. I actually have some questions related to the bot, so I'll go over that as well. But yeah, guys, I think it's over. I'm sorry. I think it's over. Even if it's not over, I think it's over for the next several months. And I'm going to lay out the reasons why again. You can make your own convictions if you want. If you're bullish still, that's fine. If you think that this is just a standard correction, whatever you might think. But when you look at some of these altcoins and they're down 90% from where they were, you know, Tau's down 60%. You look at Ethereum, which is losing its macro uptrend and support down 50%. I'm just disagreeing with you. I think it's over. I don't think that anything is going to pump again. That's just my opinion. Not again. In the next 6 months, maybe. But I think we're going to form another range somewhere between here. Whether that means we do some of this, maybe come down lower, maybe go higher from there, whatever it might be. But, I mean, you're still looking at a 30 to 40% correction there. I know now why so many people were upset when you sold. I thought you were going to break your mic on the air when you sold. So I was, but I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of shit I had to deal with last week. I had a death in my family. I also made the tweet and talked in Discord and put it out to patrons. Like, I made it very obvious that I was selling. I wasn't like, hey, I'm thinking about selling. I'm like, guys, I'm literally selling my shit. Like, this is happening. I'm selling. I don't like the environment. I don't like the feeling I have in my gut. I don't like anything. What about massive sideline money, which has been the reason for you turning bullish? What happened to this money? It was put into the market. It's put into the market, now it's gone. Or maybe it never came. But guys, I was bullish. I don't know if these are new people joining, but I got bullish here. Right? There's tweets. I was talking about what I was buying. I told patrons what I was buying. I told people in Discord what I was buying. I texted my friends what I was buying. I started buying at 17,500. Okay? Even if you started buying where I did, you're still in a ton of profit. And you could sell now and you're still in a ton of profit. Maybe it didn't go the way you wanted. But, you know, I know that there's this belief that crypto is great. Crypto's this, that, another thing. Maybe we bounce. At the end of the day, if the market structure is changing, I'm changing with it. Plus, there's a lot of global tension. I think Trump is ripping off the Band-Aid, so to speak, and making the market correct now. When you open up the S&P 500, as well as the other index stocks, I mean, it looks like we're getting a correction. We're getting the correction that we've needed for over a year. We've been in a parabolic uptrend. We've been in a parabolic uptrend for almost 3 years without a significant... I mean, look at this. 3 years. The average stock market gain over 100 years is like 8%. We're up 80% right now. That's like Bitcoin going up 1,000%. You're telling me a large correction doesn't make sense? Can you send me the info on the bot? I'm driving, but I'm on your Patreon and Discord. It's actually posted in Discord. It's under trading bot info. I always respect your opinion. Do you think there's any hope for alts left? I don't. No. Unfortunately, guys, and I was one of those people that thought we were going to get an alt season. I'm not going to lie. With the way that Bitcoin dominance looks, and I guess I'll talk about this now. Here's my problem, right? A couple weeks ago, we had this giant wick. We had formed bearish divergences on our weekly. All right, I'm going to draw it out real quick. I'm actually going to remove everything just so you guys can see clearly. So we had this giant wick, and I said, okay, you know, we're probably close to the end of the bull run anyways, which I've been thinking this whole time. Likely see maybe Bitcoin correct, money flow into alts, we get a lackluster alt season, and that's it, right? Now I have a problem with this. We dumped here, those divergences played out with this dump. Now we're pumping and moving higher. That's a problem, right? For some of you that understand how divergences work, that doesn't mean we have to nuke down, but if we start seeing little bits of red and then followed by a pretty substantial green candle here, especially while Bitcoin is dropping and Bitcoin pumping yesterday. So not only is Bitcoin staying dominant while it's pumping, it's dominant while it's dumping, which to me says this is going higher, unfortunately. My only counter conviction to this is the monthly, which we could easily get rid of these bullish divergences, unfortunately. Bitcoin just follows the NASDAQ for the most part, and the NASDAQ looks bad. Yeah. Well, it also follows the S&P 500. But on top of that, the dollar is bouncing at weekly support. I mean, look, I have numerous signs to be bearish, and I've shared dozens and dozens of signs, guys. Look, if you're someone that bought when I bought, you are still in a ton of profit, and you still have time to make that decision. Do you want to sell? Right? Now, I will say a lot of the altcoins I bought at literal lows have round tripped or made lower lows. Like Mana, I literally bought on the blue line, dude. I literally bought here. I literally bought this blue line, and we are under where I bought. Now, did I sell this break even or slight lot, whatever? I sold it like right around here, wherever I sold everything. And 2 weeks later, we're down at lows again and making even lower lows now. What's up? Yes, sir. How's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. I started buying Bitcoin with you, but I'm also buying many altcoins, some out break even. I mean, yeah, that's just the unfortunate reality. We never got an alt season, and we're probably not going to. I hate to say it that way, guys. And look, I'd more than happy to be wrong. If you're someone that you listen to what I say and you're like, nah, screw him, I'm going to continue to hold. I think I have my own conviction, then stick with it. But this? So here's the thing, and let's list the reasons. We're breaking macro structure. Bitcoin dominance is also rising. Okay, it'd be different if Bitcoin was dropping here and dominance was going down. That'd be a big indication. So we have one, we have structure. I'm just gonna type it, man. My keyboard's broken, but I'm gonna try and type it. So we have, I'm gonna say and versus Bitcoin dominance. So one, structure is bearish. I'm gonna put structure is bearish. And we have this, we have Bitcoin dominance agreeing, which is a problem for altcoins. Two, we have macro environment. Macro environment looks, I'm going to say looks fearful. Which I know for a lot of you are going to say, oh, looks fearful, we should buy. Not when everything's at highs. And here's what I mean. You have, I wish I could indent this, but I don't think I can. I'll do this, though. Trump tariffs. And in that, 20% to China next week, which is, that's not good. Then we have indexes correcting. Global, let's say, economy is now showing, like I said, my keyboard's broken, negative GDP. We have, let's see, what else do we have? Inflation ticking back up. QE not starting soon. Rates not being cut soon. I mean, the list can go on and on and on, guys. The macro environment is not bullish, is my point. Like, this is off the top of my head in the last 20 seconds. Look, 50%, or hold on. 50% of consumer spending is done by 10% of pop. What else? Cost of living at all-time highs. We had the average new home buyer is up by 8 years. Homes at all-time high value. And I know homes are always going up in value, but right now they're just ridiculous compared to salary. Compared to salary. I don't know. I think with a shift in the global world, man, it's just not looking good. With people talk about another leg up, is it inevitable, or is that alt season has to happen every 4 years? I wish it was the case, but I agree it looks bad. Well, the other thing is to have alt season, we have to be in QE, I believe. And right now it's just risk off. And I'll put another point here. Risk off. I'll just put an equal sign, risk off environment. And what is Bitcoin and what are altcoins? They are risky assets. What is most of the NASDAQ? Tech. What is tech? Risky, right? Complete risk. Look at the VIX. The VIX is up 20% today because of the fear of the unknown. People are selling. I'm going to share a little information with you guys. As many of you know, I used to work in professional finance. I have a lot of connections, right? I have connections with wealth management advisors, private equity, everything. I have a guy that I talk to. I hate to compare this because I know there's people like, oh, I asked my Chinese quant. Like you have a, what is that, Trader SG or whatever his name is, the big guy. He's got like 500K followers. He's like, oh, my Chinese quant says that we're going to do this, that, and this. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying in the professional finance world, a lot of these funds are taking profits. Why? Because look at the S&P 500. It is up a massive amount. 2, there's uncertainty from Trump coming in. And there's the thought that he's just going to rip the Band-Aid off, right? Have a market correction so that by the end of his term, he'll look like a genius with markets at all-time highs. So we could technically have like a 2-year mini recession, kind of like what we got with Biden, right? Mini recession, we move sideways and then we continue higher. I mean, what if we do the exact same thing, right? This bigger correction sideways, continue higher into the rest of his term. I'm not saying that's a for sure thing. Look, our correction could go to here and maybe that's it. But that is still a 20% correction almost. And that's going to look like a 50 to 60% correction on Bitcoin. And for perspective, our correction here in 2022, this was 27% and Bitcoin corrected 75%, I believe, almost 80%. So put that in your own perspective. This is the worst bull season ever. Absolutely agree. And I don't think anybody, look, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I don't think anybody, whether you're Carl the Moon or myself, predicted that alts would perform this bad. And I do apologize. I was someone saying, hey, probably buy some Fetch, buy some Tau. I mean, I had convictions, buy the AI stuff, don't buy the meme stuff, but none of it did anything. And it's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. But that comes with, and I'm, again, not trying to make excuses, but that comes with, look, don't invest money you can't afford to lose, especially in altcoins and speculative assets. Trump is literally stealing all the retail's money. First the meme coins, and now the 50 times leverage longs, derivatives-driven pump, supported by a news-driven pump. This couldn't go nice. Yeah, it's just, this structure looks awful. But let's continue on. Let's talk about why else we're bearish. We talked about the macro environment. I listed 10 reasons there, right? Why else are we bearish? I mean, you name it, but dollar. Bouncing from support with an admin that wants to increase the value of the dollar. Trump and Elon Musk are trying to boost the value of the dollar. Unless you live under a rock, you would know this. If the dollar goes up, our stock market is going down. Same with crypto. And think about it. It's like dollar versus gold, right? If the dollar's gaining value, gold's going to go down in value. Unless there's a huge scarcity of gold. how it compares to doing the trades ourselves. Okay, I'll talk about that in a minute. None of it did anything. My AI alts are down 80%. They did something. Oh, like they dropped, yeah. Can add Warren Buffett selling lots of bank stocks and sitting on record cash. Yeah, but I don't. It's not that I don't respect Warren Buffett, but Warren Buffett's also 80 something. I mean, he could be selling to give that money away to charity or give to his kids. I wouldn't say that him selling is necessarily like a driver for the rest of the market dropping. Now, it doesn't help, but yeah. Let's talk about what else do we know is bearish, right? I wrote, unfortunately, I'm trying to think of other categories because I wrote out like 10 categories there, or 10 reasons for those categories. But look, it just doesn't look good. Like, and one thing I will say is if you're looking for reasons to be bullish or looking for reasons to not necessarily be bullish, if you have to literally go into the chart and you go from daily to 4 hour and you're looking for a reason to think a certain way, you're probably wrong. I mean, this is easy. This is as easy as it gets. Look at the daily. Bang. Okay, we reclaimed. It looked okay. Bam, lost it. Okay, this is clearly a trap. It's a bull trap, and it's likely going lower. And when do we have bull traps? We have bull traps in bear markets. The same could be said when we were over here, right? A lot of people got trapped on this, right? A lot of people thought that this was the bottom of the bear market. We ended up going up, breaking out on what volume? Look at volume here. This is how you know it's a trap. Volume's going down, volume staying relatively low, especially compared to these other highs. The whole time volume was going down, right? Volume had going down as price would hit resistance. We have that fake out, and then bam, we drop another 50%. Let's compare this to what we're seeing right now. We get this pump, and this is why I was a little skeptical. Look how low our volume is compared to where we were when we dropped. Not to mention, it happened on a Sunday morning when no one's paying attention. Just seemed like it was all calculated. And, unfortunately, I hate to say it this way, but this is your second chance to sell. I truly believe that this kills crypto credibility. Oh, let's write this down. This is my other reason. Crypto credibility, right? Where are you guys standing here? Right? You have scams. You have, obviously, honestly, I'm just going to put scams, manipulation. Look what just happened. In a normal circumstance, we would consider this deviation, right? Look at it now. Why can't I move this? There it is. Like, look at this. We get deviation here, right? What happens? It was our bottom to go higher. Here's another example. We get deviation higher. Unfortunately, it was the top. We get it again. Deviation. What happened? It was the bottom, went back up. I believe there was one more here. What happened here? Deviation. Send it back up. In all of these examples, we continued higher. In this example of deviation, we're sending back lower and lower by 10%. Like, if this was, like, we recovered and then kind of, like, sat here, okay, you got me. But this is a 10% drop. I actually think it's more than that. Yeah, it's 10% drop. That doesn't happen in bull runs, guys. That doesn't happen when the market's bullish. This should have acted as a spring, and honestly, I expected this to continue higher at first. As soon as we started kind of sloping down and seeing the weakness, it wasn't going to happen. Like, especially as soon as we lost like 89K, I was like, yeah, it's over. That's it. This is a failed deviation. Everything's going lower. It's unfortunate, and look, you can have your own conviction. You can tell me I'm wrong, but that's not how it. Look at this and tell yourself, is this how a bull market reacts? And it's not. So one thing, I have a couple of DMs asking about the trading bot. So this question is, how does the trading bot compare from you trading yourself versus the market? Or excuse me, you trading yourself, the English is a little off. So basically what he's asking is, how does the bot versus like myself or like you guys, if you're trading slash you guys. So how does the bot compare from like people to just the bot? I think the bot trades better. I think that it does miss a lot of opportunities. Like it missed this because there's no established range. It's a news-based move. It's low volume. The bot has its own system. So look, comparing the bot to yourself, you can still trade with your own money, but the bot has its own system, right? And that system's being adjusted on like a weekly basis so that we can keep things clean and easy and not get out-traded by market makers and avoid crappy moves like this. So look, you could say, oh, you could have nailed the bottom and shorted the top. Maybe the bot didn't, but there are plenty of moves that the bot picks up that maybe you won't pick up. So with that said, the bot's got a yearly performance of 200%, so 200% per year over the last 5 years. It's got excellent performance. It has 75% winning months. Average monthly gain is like 18%. Again, all this information is posted in Discord under Trading Bot Info. If you're someone that, if you're someone that outperforms that, then stick to what you're doing. But if you're someone that maybe you work a job, maybe you're busy, maybe you don't feel like staring at a chart all day, the bot's an option, right? Now, I will cover this. The only reason the bot is showing a negative right now on Bickett and Blowfin is because I added a bunch of capital to it and it had a bad month. Actually, it didn't necessarily have a bad month. It had a bad month at first, recovered it all, and now I'm in profits. But whoever was in it on Bickett pulled their money right before everything dropped, so it's showing a $14,000 loss. Again, that loss is subjective to whoever took their money out before everything bounced. Most of the copiers that have stayed there for over 2 months are in profit, and I believe you guys can see that data if you do a deep dive into the bot on Bickett. Is the Blowfin copy trading account the bot or your personal trades? It's the bot. And again, that's showing a reflected loss because I had to move capital around. So the only reason those are showing losses again, one, I had to move capital off of Blowfin. Not off, like it's still, some of it's still there. But for me to get the fees from myself, I had to create another account. So I had like $70,000 in an account there. And I was like, wait, why am I not getting my fees back? They said, hey, you have to create a new account. So in the middle of the shitty month, I just moved it to another account. So again, you're going to see that. And what I learned is, because I've worked with the team, they have bots on Bickett, they have bots on Bybit as well. You're going to see that their main accounts actually show a loss for all their copiers, but that's because people get scared, pull their money off before going up. But if you do a deep dive into the actual bot and how many copiers have been there versus X amount of days, so like people that have been there for over 60 days are in profits. Now, if you're in there for 60 plus days with $1,000 and then you add $100,000 to it and we have a bad month, obviously it's going to show that you've taken a loss, right? So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, but I had 3 or 4 questions on the bot, so I thought I'd answer them. That data, unfortunately, on Bickett and Blowfin is going to be very subjective. Very skewed, I guess is the word. It's very skewed. And if you're someone that puts like 20 grand on, the bot goes down 5 grand because we're in this crappy range like we were here. If you take that off, that's going to show a loss. But if we dump, that money's not there. So now the total is going to be less. So let's say there's 100K total here. And for some reason, someone goes, oh, this thing's just losing money. I don't trust it anymore. And they take 40 grand out, right? It's going to show a $5,000 loss. Well, if it's 60, now it's changing to 60 grand, and we drop, 7% or whatever it was that the bot gained, it's still going to show a loss even though 99% of the copiers are now in profits. That's what happened on BitGet, if that math checks out for you. That's the best way I can explain it. European defense stocks have ripped in the last few years, months. Some have done 10x in 5 years. This will be the next sector to be for a while. Well, I mean, if it's up 10x, it's probably not going to be the best. All right, respond to that. But back to crypto credibility. The amount of meme coin scams, and not just from celebrities, we had them from the President of the United States and the President of Argentina. Not to mention the manipulation done by Trump yesterday. He is not sitting well in my book for that. And maybe he didn't know, but come on, man. The scams and manipulation in this space are so bad that new investors aren't coming in, and that's kind of my key point here. Let's put this in. So hard to type when the microphone's out here and my keyboard's broken. One other thing with the bot, guys. Before you go and dump a shit ton of money into it, use like $1,000 to test on your own. That way you can be comfortable with how it works and you can see how it works. What I would advise you not to do, if you're going to put like 50 grand into it, put like 10,000 in, right? Just start small, slowly add to it as it makes profits. That way you're giving yourself a cushion, right? You can put all 50 grand into it, but don't cry and whine if it has a semi-bad month, right? And then pull all your money and don't go back to it. Start small and slowly get into it, like any investment. Well, that's another thing. Retail doesn't have money, but I kind of covered that here. 50% of the consumer spending is done by 10% of the population, cost of living at all-time highs. Yeah, retail's broke. It's crazy, man. Like, I go out and drink with the same 5 guys every Friday. And, they're not doing necessarily bad. But I had said, man, can you believe this statistic? Like, 75% of Americans don't have a $500 emergency expense. And they all just laughed. And I was like, why are you guys laughing? They're like, dude, I don't have that. And I was like, that's crazy. Right? Now, they got, like, investments, 401k. Like, they work for good companies. But, like, it's crazy, man. There's this, like, looming cloud. And, like, once it starts once the lightning hits, like, everyone is so fucked. I hope it doesn't come down to it, but like, I know people that, and again, a lot of them are my age, but I know people that, like, they're working decent jobs, but still living paycheck to paycheck by their own decision. It's not even like they're not making the money. They're just not making good decisions. And that's even scary. Because it's like, not only do you have the people that can't afford it, but now you have people that can, but they choose to spend all their money on stupid shit. It's wild. Let's talk some TA. What are we looking at here? So I will say, we talk a lot about how everything looks bearish. And one thing I will say is everything looks bearish for crypto. The stock market still hasn't broken structure, although I would argue, if we start losing 5,700 on the S&P 500, things get ugly fast. Not to mention, this is starting to look more like a double top now. Originally, we had a nice wick. We were starting green this week. It looked pretty decent. But if we lose, 57,780, I'll mark that. So if we lose that, and then 5,700, 5,680, things get ugly fast. Right? You're talking about a I would imagine like 3 to 6 month correction minimum. Right? Crypto's, I don't want to say crypto is doomed, but Bitcoin's definitely going to correct much further than 75K for sure. Especially if the stock market drops that much. Look what Bitcoin did in 2022 when the S&P 500 dropped 27%. So the S&P drops, and it's going to do the Bitcoin scale. The S&P 500 dropped 27%. Bitcoin dropped 80. Put that in perspective, right? And I don't, I keep harping about the bear market. I don't think we're going to go into like a full-blown bear market, but I do think a decent-sized correction is coming, and that could mean Bitcoin dropping 40 to 50%, which again would land you somewhere in this 60K range. I mean, the good thing is now the question of the 4-year cycle is gone, right? Everyone was like, oh, maybe we get this super cycle. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is part of that super cycle, or maybe we're just following, traditional markets. You guys have to remember, risk leads traditional markets. If traditional markets are going down, risk is going to go down a lot more. If traditional markets are going to go up, risk is going to go up a lot more. It's just looking ugly, man. This weekly is scary because you have this big gap between 71 and 90K. So look, with all the data that I've presented, I hope you guys make your own informed decision. At the end of the day, I could be completely wrong, right? And I'll admit if I'm wrong, but I just don't like the overall looming cloud that is over everybody, especially with Bitcoin losing support. Now you've got a couple other things like the dollar is bouncing off support, but tether dominance has not broken out quite yet, right? We saw this act as resistance, kind of act as support. This hasn't broken out yet. So there is still a little bit of hope. But again, with all of the other signs adding up, and most of them are fundamental, I'd say, rather than just technical analysis. But you get to the dollar, and this is a breakout and retest. And like I've said for the last several months, this is our least bullish / macro bearish indication. I mean, this broke out in December. When did Bitcoin top? At least top for now. Yeah, pretty much topped in December and has been struggling since. Man, that does look like a nasty double top, doesn't it? And there's lots of possibility on the board, but now you have total 1 losing support. Total 2 looks awful, and it's because of Ethereum. Total 3 actually doesn't look terrible. I don't know why this is so big. Even if it's here, I wouldn't say it's completely lost. I'm actually going to use a more recent support level just because it lines up. I'm going to get rid of these fibs. We don't need them. Very interesting. Tether we went over. Let's look at Bitcoin's daily. I mean, look at this. Our volume's already higher than it was yesterday. And we've completely retraced the move. 2, this is a engulfing candle. If it closes the way it is. That's ugly, man. Ugly. I know you touched on GDP. Now is showing minus 2.8 GDP, which is higher than the 2.6 in 2009. Atlanta Fed is showing minus 2.3. I'm unsure of what you're asking. All I said is GDP is showing negative, and 2 quarters in a row negative means we're in recession. Yeah, tether dominance is on a tear. Absolutely. It's wild. But let's touch on Bitcoin dominance before I end the stream. I went over it briefly. Why am I leaning more bearish on alts now? And it's entirely because this is failing to drop. When we got our wick back over here, we just straight fell, right? When we have wicks here, we straight fell. This is consolidating and looks like it wants to go higher now because our bearish divergence is playing out on this weekly chart. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll zoom in here. Clearly have a bearish divergence here, right? High, high, or high, lower high, high, higher high, right? We get a little dump here. That's that divergence playing out. Now we're bouncing and moving higher. Not to mention we're bouncing and moving higher when Bitcoin is when Bitcoin's dumping and when Bitcoin's pumping, which again tells me that dominance is going to continue higher. So again, you guys can have your own convictions. I'm having mine. I don't think we're going to get an alt season anytime soon, especially with the change in overall environment. And it sucks to say, you know, I wish I could give you guys better news. I'm not just someone that shits on crypto. Look, I got bullish here, right? A lot of my alts round tripped from where I bought them 3 years ago, and I accepted that and moved on. And I'm very happy I decided to go mostly into Bitcoin, Link, and Tau, which were all in decent profit. But the rest of my alts, it's not like I cashed out a huge amount, guys. My Ethereum was only up like 50% from where I bought. Or at least like over time. That DCA. I mean, just nothing. Look at ICP. It's literally going, I mean, like, what is this? Actually, my ICP is still in profit because I bought this like here. Either here or here. I can't remember. Look at Crow, man. This is one that I had big hopes in. And I bought this like 0.05. So like in here, or maybe even in here. I can't remember the specific time frame. Went up a lot, right? Went up a lot again, and then just dumped 90%. It's crazy. Maybe not 90, but dropped a lot. 70%. Ugly. All right, guys. Take a screenshot if you'd like for all the reasons. Again, I'm sorry if there was confusion for some of you on why you think I was selling. Yes, I took profits because I'm going to use that to buy a home at some point if homes change. But look, I gave 8 other reasons why in that tweet. And, you know, I'm sorry that there was no alt season. I know a lot of us had hope. Look, I had a lot in altcoins, dude. I had like $100,000 in altcoins, and they either round tripped, were barely in profit, or barely at a loss. So basically break even for me overall. You know, if we get another leg up in the market, I'm happy to be wrong. I just don't like the impending environment and its stress. You know, now I'm not in the market right now, but if I was, I'd be stressed out and I wouldn't be sleeping, and that's not good, right? If you have to look for reasons to be in, right, when there's 100 reasons to be out, it's probably because there's a change in structure happening or a change in sentiment. Anytime, Austin. All that said, guys, if you have any questions on the trading bot, just shoot me a DM. More than happy to answer them for you. Any questions over anything in general, just shoot me a DM. All that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And always remember, be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.